Coming up on Mountain News this morning, 13 months after the murder of Amber Spradlin, 3 arrests have been made. And road rage incidents have seen a dramatic increase since 2014, a statistic Laurel County has added to twice this month.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. It's 6:29 this morning, and our First Alert Weather team is tracking severe storms on this First Alert Weather Day. So let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast.
And Madison, nothing severe right now, but it's that potential late this afternoon into this evening for another complex to be tracking in from the north and west. And as a result, the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted most of the Commonwealth in a level 2 slight risk for severe weather, damaging thunderstorm wind gusts. One of the concerns. The other concern is intense rainfall. And yes, we're under a level 2 slight risk for flash flooding. Excessive rainfall. Jackson to Middlesboro points north and west as well. Clouds trying to depart. Little fog trying to develop too outside our door here in Hazard. And some of us kind of dealing with the same thing, a little bit lower regarding the visibility because of the fog in spots. 64 outside our door here in Hazard. The pinpoint Doppler radar, we're looking to the north and west. This is our shower and thunder shower threat for this morning. Not all of us will see that. We all will see the shower and thunderstorm complex coming into play late this afternoon into this evening. A high in Hazard near 89. More about your ARH First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in this half hour. Madison?
All right, Tim, thank you. A murder investigation is underway in the Gray community of Knox County. Kentucky State Police says one person was stabbed to death in their home. Police received the call regarding the incident around 5:30 yesterday evening. Since then, officials have taken one person into custody. No names have been released at this time. After more than 1 year, arrests have been made in the Amber Spradlin murder case, bringing her family and supporters to the Floyd County Courthouse yesterday. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was there as it all unfolded.
On behalf of the family, thank you sincerely.
It is a day Amber Spradlin's family wasn't sure they would ever see.
There's been plenty of times that I did lose hope just because it took so long to get to where we are, and I knew it was difficult because of the 3 main players in the murder were refusing to talk.
3 men were arrested Tuesday in connection to Spradlin's June 18th, 2023 murder.
She had just finally gotten to that point where she was spreading her wings and living her adult life and making her own way in life, and they murdered her.
Dentist and business owner Michael McKinney was arrested in Prestonsburg, brought to the Floyd County Detention Center with 23-year-old Josh Square Mullins.
Is there anything either of you'd like to say?
Both indicted with 7 counts of complicity to tamper with physical evidence. McKinney's son, Michael Kent, or MK McKinney, was arrested in Rowan County, indicted with the same tampering counts and 1 count of murder.
Because they felt like they could do this and just toss it away and go on with life like nothing else, like nothing had ever happened. So I want them to know that they can't. We're going to keep Amber's memory alive.
In the indictments, Kentucky State Police detectives claim MK McKinney killed Spradlin with a knife before he and the other men worked to clean up and destroy evidence in the home where they all live.
At least if we can keep MK in jail. He's a dangerous person. He doesn't need to be out in the community with people.
Now Spradlin's family hopes to see convictions, saying the community will not rest until the truth is out and the men are locked up.
These 3 people refused to talk or say anything from the very beginning, so they might be willing to talk now that it's real to them.
With supporters gathering at a news conference Tuesday to continue the journey for justice.
And they want to see justice, and they've kept me going and kept the whole family motivated and kept our spirits up. So.
Amber's cousin Debbie Hall hopes Wednesday's arraignment provides the needed steps toward answers and accountability. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Hall continues to voice her concerns about the moving of the 911 dispatch center, saying she wants to see things reversed before someone else goes through what Amber experienced, calling for a change in the county. Now let's recap the timeline of events that led to these arrests. On June 18th of last year, Amber Spradlin was found stabbed to death in a home in the Arkansas Creek community. A few months later, in September of last year, the Floyd County Fiscal Court asked for a special prosecutor for the case. The Attorney General's office declined that request in the same month. In February of this year, Spradlin's family put up signs along the highway in Prestonsburg and Allen seeking answers in her death. Early last month, Spradlin's family filed a civil complaint naming the people the family claims to be responsible for Spradlin's death. That leads us to yesterday, when Dr. Michael McKinney, M.K. McKinney, and Josh Mullins were arrested in connection to the case. A Morgan County man is accused of killing his pregnant wife. An arrest citation says Jeremy Scroffnagel is charged with murder and fetal homicide. Police say he confessed to killing his girlfriend, Shannon Dustin, after an argument. The citation says Scroffnagel strangled her and cut her throat with a knife. He is being held in the Rowan County Detention Center. Road rage shootings in the United States have increased by more than 400% since 2014, according to data from AAA. WYMT's Caroline Mueller has the latest on an incident that happened in Laurel County truck stop Friday.
An Ohio father and son were arrested Friday after reportedly instigating a road rage fight in an intersection outside of Love's truck stop in Corbin. Deputy Gilbert Achardo, public affairs officer with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, says a deputy was investigating an unrelated traffic crash nearby.
He heard a bunch of screaming and hollering and cursing, and he ran towards that, of course, because that's what we're trying to do.
26-year-old Jacob Harness exited his car to confront the driver of a truck that was behind him.
The guy in the car actually grabbed the truck driver by the shirt and throwed him to the pavement, and the fight was on.
At the same time, his father, 56-year-old James Harness, who was in another car, grabbed a pistol from his trunk, then approached the altercation.
You can see him running up through there with his pistol and shooting into the pavement, and shot off several rounds before the deputy was able to get to that situation, and using voice commands was able to disarm that individual.
Achardo says all of this was about the truck driver honking his horn one time. And this is not the first time something like this has happened in the county.
In less than 3 weeks, we've had incidences where someone honked their horn, the other party got terribly upset, a firearm was brought out, and rounds were fired.
AAA spokesperson Lori Weaver Hawkins says while you cannot control other people's aggressive driving, polite driving and keeping your composure will not only help you, but will allow others to remain safe.
Driving isn't a competition. You're not out there to one-up another driver. Keep your focus on your own driving and avoid any actions that could cause you to become a target of an aggressive driver.
Hawkins and Achardo both caution drivers to not honk their horn out of frustration. In Laurel County, Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
A Floyd County man is scheduled for a preliminary hearing after reportedly assaulting a fellow inmate. Police say Christopher Hayden was found strangling and hitting another inmate at the Leslie County Detention Center. Hayden was scheduled for a preliminary hearing in Leslie County District Court on Tuesday, but that has been pushed back to August 13th. A man has been arrested for attempted murder out of Mingo County, West Virginia. West Virginia State Police say 25-year-old Aaron Mahan cut a victim's neck with a knife. It happened in the Upper Bias area near Del Barton. The victim was flown to a Huntington hospital. We do not have an update on the victim's condition. Mahan was taken to the Southwestern Regional Jail. A Rockcastle County man is facing charges following an investigation where he was downloading sexually explicit images of minors to an online social media account. KSP's electronic crime branch arrested 25-year-old Stephen Blevins in a child sex abuse material investigation. He was charged with 20 counts of possessing matter portraying a sexual performance by a minor under the age of 12. A Nicholasville man and a Corbin woman were sentenced for conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine. 42-year-old Bradley Lawson was sentenced to 180 months, and 39-year-old Amy Johnson was sentenced to 68 months. In 2022, Lawson obtained meth for resale to distribute it in Laurel and Whitley counties. Law enforcement discovered 2 pounds of meth and found Lawson with a loaded firearm. Both Lawson and Johnson had prior federal drug felony convictions. Lawson received an additional 12-month sentence for violating supervised release. A Laurel County woman is facing charges after police found a pipe and straw with meth residue on it. While in the process of entering a security checkpoint at the Laurel County Judicial Center Monday, police found the items on 25-year-old Kristen Bowman. Police later determined Bowman was under the influence. She was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. As our campaign 2024 coverage continues, we're keeping a close eye on Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Last night, CBS News is listing Beshear as one of the top 5 potential candidates for Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. The others are Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. We spoke with Lexington Herald leader, political reporter Austin Horn about the potential that our governor could join the Harris campaign.
I think a lot of people have interpreted it as good news for Andy Beshear should he want to make that step, and it certainly seems like he wants to make that step. Generally speaking, he's not among the first 2 mentioned in this process. For most outlets, most people in the know, that's Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. But he is certainly in that tier of people who are believed to be seriously considered.
CBS News has learned Harris will begin formal interviews of potential VPs this week, with an announcement expected by Monday. One Southern Kentucky hospital is being recognized for its work treating strokes. Baptist Health Corbin received the American Heart Association's Get With the Guidelines Silver Award. Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President Sherry Mays says they are keeping up with new ways to keep people in the area without having to send them to other locations.
Which our neurologists from Lexington can actually hone in on the patients via a computer and look at the patients, talk to the patients, and we have a nurse practitioner that also works with us on taking care of stroke patients as well and sees them.
Mays says they have also been successful by reaching out to people in the community to identify symptoms and risk factors for a stroke.
A good Wednesday to you. How did I end up on the 7-day forecast? Because it didn't hit completely on the button. All right, 1, 2, 3, and here we go. Temperature-wise across eastern and southern Kentucky, 64 here in Hazard. You got a quick little freebie on the 7-day there. 64 at Williamsburg, 69. Good morning to you at Ashland. Here is the pinpoint Doppler radar. Many of us are dry. Those of you out toward Norton, about 2 hours ago, had a decent downpour in your vicinity. And we're watching this action here along 75 south of Cincinnati and Covington. Around Williamstown, kind of blossom up a bit. Same thing as you make your way south of the radar site into Elizabethtown. And this will be our shower and thunder shower threat as we head through this morning. There's a complex, though, that's now getting into northern Illinois. That's the focus for late this afternoon, and the reason and the concern pertaining to our first alert weather day. So for today, any fog will burn off to a partly sunny sky. Shower, thunder shower threat this morning toward the lunch hour, and we end up topping out this afternoon near 89. We'll look the timing of that complex coming in with the ARH first alert 7-day forecast. That's coming up in a few moments. Madison?
Thank you, Tim, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Iran's military is reporting that a Hamas leader was killed in Tehran as the war in the Middle East continues.